They told me not to make this video, not because it's wrong, but because once you hear this, you'll never be able to look at a man the same way again. They begged me to keep this hidden. Because if you know what I'm about to tell you, you'll understand the way men love, the way they fear, and the way they fight their own hearts. And that kind of understanding, it's dangerous. See, women often think they know what men want. You've heard the cliches: respect, beauty, intimacy, loyalty. But I'm not here to give you cliches. I'm here to tell you the things men hide, not because they're trying to play games, but because they believe you'll never understand, or worse, you'll stop loving them if you knew. So, if you're watching this, you're about to step into the secret places of a man's soul, the parts he doesn't even share with his closest friends, the parts he hides behind his smile, his sarcasm, his ambition. And once you see it, you'll realize that most of what you thought was indifference was actually protection. Most of what you thought was distance was actually love, disguised in the only way he knew how to show it. The truth men hide. Let me tell you something most women will never hear a man say out loud. A man's love is often quieter than a woman's, but it's no less deep. You may show love with words, affection, constant reminders. I love you. I miss you. I'm thinking about you. He shows love with silence, with showing up, with doing things without announcing them. Because to him, love isn't something you perform. It's something you protect. Men are raised with a certain stoic truth. Don't burden others with your struggles. He could be falling apart inside, but he will smile at you, fix your problems, and go to bed carrying the weight of his own, because he believes that's his role, the shield, not the burden. And that's why you misread him. You think he doesn't care because he doesn't pour out his feelings every night. But here's the thing. If you could hear the thoughts that run through his head before he falls asleep, you'd cry, because more often than not, he's thinking about how to make you feel safer, happier, more secure. He's thinking about whether he's enough for you. He's thinking about what life would be like if you were gone, and the thought terrifies him. Why men push love away? Now here's the cruel paradox. Sometimes, when a man loves a woman the most, he will push her away, not because he's stopped caring, not because he wants someone else, but because he feels like he's failing you. Men are wired to measure their worth by what they can provide, not just financially, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. If he feels like he's not meeting the standard he set for himself, he'll distance himself, because in his mind, pulling away is better than watching you look at him with disappointment. It's a kind of self-sabotage, but in his heart, he believes it's a sacrifice. If I remove myself from her life, she'll find someone better, someone who can give her what I can't. And you'll never hear him say this, because to admit it would mean admitting weakness, and weakness is the one thing he's been trained to hide from you. The unspoken fears of a man's heart. You want to know what men fear most? It's not rejection. It's not even betrayal. It's giving their heart completely, and then watching a woman they love treat it like it was replaceable. Men may not talk about it, but they feel the same sharp ache you do when someone takes their love for granted. They remember the offhand comments you make, the times you seem distracted, the moments you didn't notice the little things they did, and while you might forget them by the next morning, he stores them like scars under his ribs. But here's the tragic part. Instead of telling you he's hurt, he'll smile and say it's fine. He'll laugh it off. And inside, he'll start building walls. Not because he wants to shut you out, but because he believes that if he hardens himself, he won't break the next time you cut him without meaning to. Not because he wants to shut you out, but because he believes that if he hardens himself, he won't break the next time you cut him without meaning to. And here's where most women don't see the whole picture, because that hardening doesn't just happen emotionally. It bleeds into his physical intimacy with you. Men aren't taught to say this, but sex is not just sex to them, at least not when they love you. Yes, men are wired to feel physical attraction quickly. That's biology. But in a committed relationship, intimacy becomes something far more dangerous for them. It's their most vulnerable place. When a man lies beside you, skin to skin, he's not just giving you his body, he's giving you his deepest access to him. For a woman, vulnerability often happens in conversation, in emotional sharing. For a man, vulnerability often happens in the bedroom. This is why, when he feels emotionally unsafe, the first thing that changes is how he touches you, or whether he touches you at all. If he pulls back from sex, it's not always about desire fading. Sometimes it's about fear. Fear that you don't see him the same way anymore. Fear that his touch won't be welcome. Fear that you'll notice the tension in his chest and ask questions he doesn't know how to answer. The silent link between love and desire. Here's what most women miss. Men's desire for you is deeply tied to how they feel you see them. If he feels admired, respected, wanted, his body responds instantly. If he feels criticized, overlooked, or like he's losing your attraction, his desire doesn't just dip, it collapses. And because men's identities are often wrapped around their ability to satisfy a woman, both emotionally and physically, any disruption in that bond can quietly destroy his confidence. He won't tell you this. He'll just work later, stay longer on his phone, pretend he's tired. And you might think he's pulling away because he doesn't love you anymore, when in reality, he's starving for the closeness you once had but too afraid to reach for it. Why he wants you but won't show it. Another hidden truth. Sometimes a man will want you so badly it aches, but he won't make a move. Why? Because men know rejection from the woman. They love cuts deeper than anything else. If a stranger rejects him, it's nothing. If you reject him, even subtly, it hits a primal wound. It tells him, I'm not enough for her anymore. This is why many men silently test the waters before initiating intimacy. He might touch your hand, kiss your forehead, brush your hair back, little gestures to see if you lean in or pull away. If you lean in, he feels safe to go further. If you pull away, even unintentionally, he files that away and becomes more hesitant next time. When love makes him afraid to touch you. You've heard people say that men are always ready, always eager, always thinking about sex. And yes, in the beginning with new attraction, that's often true. But when a man has truly given his heart to a woman, it changes. You see, for a man who's fallen deeply, love isn't just about wanting you. It's about risking himself with you. When he touches you now, it's not just about pleasure. It's about opening the most vulnerable, unguarded part of himself and handing it to you without a shield. And here's the truth no man wants you to know. Sometimes he wants you so much that it terrifies him. He's afraid not of rejection, but of the meaning behind it if it happens. If you turn him away when he's feeling that deeply, it doesn't feel like, not tonight. It feels like, she doesn't want me anymore. It feels like the beginning of the end. This is why some men hesitate when they're deeply in love. It's not because they stop desiring you. It's because the stakes have never been higher. The pressure of being your lover and your protector. A man in love isn't just thinking about his own pleasure. Every move he makes, every touch, every glance is loaded with the silent hope that you still crave him the way he craves you. He wants to be the one who protects you from the world, but also the one who awakens every hidden desire inside you. He wants to be the man who makes you feel safe enough to be soft, but also the man who makes you feel so wanted that you forget the rest of the world exists. And he knows that if he fails at either of those, protector or lover, something in you will start to fade. That thought haunts him more than he'll ever admit, when his body feels like a question. Most women don't realize this, but for men, intimacy can become a silent test they give themselves every single time. When he undresses with you, it's not just about attraction. It's about wondering, will she still look at me like I'm the only man in the room? And when you do, when your eyes soften and your touch lingers, it fills something in him that no amount of words ever could. It tells him, you're still my man. You're still the one I choose. That assurance can carry him for weeks. But if you don't, even if you mean nothing by it, if you seem distracted, disinterested, or rushed, he notices. And while you might forget by morning, he won't. He'll carry that moment with him like a quiet weight. And next time, he might hold back. The Stoic's dilemma in the bedroom. This is the part that makes it even more complicated. A Stoic man, or a man who lives by Stoic principles without even realizing it, will rarely tell you any of this. He won't tell you he's scared of losing your desire. He won't tell you he feels pressure to keep your passion alive. He won't tell you that intimacy for him is the deepest proof that you still love him. Instead, he'll swallow it, master it, pretend it doesn't bother him. Because the Stoic ideal is to control what you feel not be ruled by it. But inside, the fear is there. And the more he hides it, the more that fear grows, until one day, he's holding you in bed but feeling miles away. When the fire goes cold, and why it's not what you think. There's a moment in some relationships that terrifies men more than anything else. It's not the first big fight. It's not the first time you disagree about the future. It's the first time he lies next to you in bed and feels nothing. Not because his attraction is gone. Not because he wants someone else. But because the part of him that was once wild, hungry, and fearless in your arms has been replaced with hesitation, self-doubt, and quiet heartbreak. A man doesn't go cold in bed because he stopped wanting you. He goes cold when he stops feeling wanted by you. And the tragedy is, you might still want him. You might still love him. But if you've been too busy, too stressed, or too distracted to show it, his mind will fill in the silence with the worst possible story. She's just here out of habit. She doesn't crave me anymore. One moment can destroy him or bring him back. Men are not as unshakable as they pretend. A single moment in intimacy can either rebuild his confidence or shatter it. If you meet his touch with warmth, if your eyes light up like they did in the beginning, if you kiss him like you can't get enough, it will undo weeks, even months of quiet doubt in his mind. He'll remember, she still wants me, she still chooses me. But if in that moment you seem distant, if your body is there but your heart feels elsewhere, he won't say a word, but he will feel something inside him go dark. And the next time, he might not reach for you at all. The silent spiral. Here's the painful truth. When a man feels undesired, he doesn't fight for more intimacy. He retreats. It's not like women, who might push for emotional reassurance or initiate deeper conversation. Men's instinct is to protect themselves by removing the need altogether. So he'll bury himself in work. He'll scroll longer at night. He'll tell himself he's tired. Not because he doesn't want you, but because it's easier to avoid the possibility of rejection than to feel it from the woman he loves most. The Stoic paradox. And here's the cruel twist. Stoicism teaches that we should be independent of others' validation, that our worth is internal, not dictated by another person's opinion or affection. And men try to live this way. They tell themselves, I'm fine, I don't need her to want to feel like a man. But when it comes to the woman he loves, that's a lie. Because deep down, every man wants to be wanted, not just appreciated for what he does, but desired for who he is. And if he doesn't feel that from you, no amount of discipline, no amount of philosophical detachment will make that ache disappear. It will just teach him to hide it better. The truth men beg me not to tell you. If you strip away all the bravado, all the confidence, all the I'm fine masks men wear, you'll find something very simple at the core. Men don't just want to be loved. They want to be desired by the woman they love. Not tolerated, not appreciated like a business partner, not respected only for what they provide. They want to be wanted so deeply that when you look at them, they feel like your heart just skipped a beat. And here's the secret they'll never say to your face. The way you make him feel in intimacy will often decide how hard he fights for your love outside of it. If he feels like a king in your arms, he'll move mountains for you in the daylight. If he feels like a stranger in your arms, his heart will start to wonder if it even belongs in your home. The power you hold. This is why they don't want you to know. Because once you understand the power you have over a man's heart and confidence, you'll realize you can either build him into the strongest, most devoted version of himself, or you can break him in ways he will never recover from. Your desire for him is not just about sex. It's about telling him, you are still the man I choose every single day. When you touch him with urgency, when your eyes soften with hunger, when your voice changes because you want him, you're not just feeding his body, you're feeding his soul. And when you pull away, when your touch is cold, when your eyes drift elsewhere, you're not just rejecting sex, you're rejecting him. Why they beg me to stay silent? Men have spent centuries pretending they're unaffected by this, pretending that desire is just a physical thing, that they can separate their ego from their intimacy. It's a lie, because for a man in love, the bedroom is the one place where all his armor comes off. It's where he's not the provider, the protector, the leader. It's where he's just a man, raw, exposed, and hoping the woman in front of him sees him the way he sees her. And that's why they beg me not to tell you. Because once you know this, you'll realize that your love can be warm and safe, but your desire, that's the fire that keeps him alive. So now you know, the truth men will never tell you, the one they hope would stay hidden. You've seen behind the armor, past the confidence, beyond the silent smiles. You've seen that men aren't as unshakable as they pretend. You've seen that the man who loves you is not just protecting you with his strength. He's quietly protecting himself from losing you. You've seen that his love is not only in the words he says, but in the silences he keeps, the sacrifices he hides, and the moments in bed where his heart is beating louder than his body is moving. You've learned that intimacy for a man isn't just about pleasure. It's about proof. Proof that you still see him as the man you chose. Proof that he still ignites something in you that no one else can. And here's the Stoic truth that ties it all together. The greatest strength a man can have is the courage to love without guarantee. And the greatest gift you can give that man is to show him, in your eyes, in your words, in your touch, that his courage was worth it. Because when a man feels both loved and desired, he will fight for you, protect you, and choose you every day without question. But when he feels unseen in love and unwanted in desire, he will begin to drift. Not because he stopped loving you, but because it hurts too much to stay. So, if you've been listening closely, you already hold the key. It's not in grand gestures or constant reassurance. It's in the small, undeniable moments where you make him feel like you're man again. Do that, and you'll see a man who doesn't just love you. You'll see a man who would burn the world down just to keep you in his arms. And before you go, if this opened your eyes, if it made your heart beat a little heavier, if it made you see men in a way you never have before, don't just walk away from this truth. Carry it, live it, use it to love better. And when you're ready for more truths like this, the kind they wish you'd never hear, subscribe to Everyday Stoicism. Not because you have to, but because the next truth might be the one that changes everything for you. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of your heart and the one who's trusted you with his. Goodbye for now.